A few years ago, I was in Washington, D.C. I was living there working in international relations and economic policy. And we went to an event, a friend and I, and there was a well known academic called John Mearsheimer, who I'm sure you've heard mentioned in your conversations with people. And he's become even more popular and world renowned in the past 2 years because of his perspective on Russia and Ukraine and the West, which is that he blames the West not entirely, but predominantly for what happened with first the annexation of Crimea, but also now February 2022. And I asked him a question at this event, and I was basically asking him, what would it take for the West and Russia, or specifically the US and Russia, to become better friends again, or at least better partners, maybe not even allies, right? And he's a realist, and he basically said the one thing, the rise of China, which I was expecting. But that question I put to you, but also with the addition of, I always naively believe that Russia could be a bridge. You mentioned the word bridge, right? You want to be a bridge between Russian viewers or understanding of the West and Western of Russia. I always hoped that Russia could be a bridge between sort of East and the West, right? Because it's such a big country. It's got ethnic, cultural, and social aspects of each, or many different things. Is that ever going to be possible, do you think? Or not until Putin's out of the picture?
Um, First of all, Russia was on the way to become a bridge in the 90s. I lived in the 90s in Russia, and I remember quite well. When the USSR fell apart, there was an incredible movement towards West, and the West was recognized as something good. And we all of a sudden realized that the USSR, the country that they were selling us as a pillar of goodness, in the world, was a lie. And it was really the empire of evil. Okay. And I remember how popular the West was in Russia, in like day-to-day culture. Okay. Everything good came from the West. And Russia was becoming a part of the West, or at least moving towards that direction. And I remember a huge step in my mind was International Space Station. And that was just an incredible showcase of what we could do working together, united. It was a very good moment. But then, if you remember, first years of Vladimir Putin, he wanted to Russia to become a part of NATO, and he was also very pro-Western. He was also moving towards the West. He wanted to be accepted. He wanted to be equal. He wanted to be included. The thing is, you have to prove yourself to be included. You have to grow to a certain level. They can't just take you there because you want to. Okay, you have to show the world that now you're worthy. Okay, and Putin couldn't do that, and it started deteriorating. He took a wrong, different direction, and he started building the vertical of power. That happened in 2004. I clearly remember in September 2004. And it has led us to this: the war in Ukraine, Russian society on the leash, human rights stripped, countries totalitarian again. that step was definitely to a wrong direction. Now, can Russia be the friend of the United States? That's the question I always answered, because both countries would benefit so much from being friends. And yes, China, I totally agree. China is the threat to both the United States and Russia, and then more to Russia. I mean, look what's happening to Russia now. It's under complete, not control, but influence from China, okay? And China is stepping more and more into Russia's resources, and that's making China stronger and stronger, okay? And the United States would benefit so much more having Russia as a friend and a partner, okay? And Putin just destroyed it, I guess. I don't think it's possible to make the friendship back with the USA when Vladimir Putin is at the helm of the country, when he's the czar. I think it's possible in the future. I mean, anything is possible, right? And it just depends on what turn Russia takes after Putin is gone. That is the key moment in history. What happens? Will Putin be succeeded by Putin number 2, one of his minions? What the policy of that man will be? Perhaps the elites will take over, and someone who succeeds Putin will be part of the elites who are looking towards the West, and in their interest is to create a partnership, to rebuild a partnership with the West. So it depends. It is possible, but with Putin as the president of Russia, I hardly doubt it.
No,
especially now since he used a ballistic missile in Ukraine 2 days ago. I mean, no.
Yeah, no, not for a long time.